Alright, hi, welcome to the demo of Pink Noise. So this game is going to be a non-linear visual novel, so if visual novels aren't your thing, feel free to click off, I won't judge, but me personally, I love visual novels, and as you can probably see from the shadows in the closet and between the boxes, this is going to be a psychological horror visual novel. So it's going to be relatively interesting, and of course, judging from the aesthetics and the VHS tapes, this game of course revolves around the 90s and VHS tapes. So essentially this game revolves around a group of teenagers who play a rather ominous and forbidden VHS tape, and that essentially sets off all the events of the story. So right now the game only has Russian dub, and as a result, I've basically turned down the dialogue volume just so that I can read it out. So then we don't have to wait for two people to voice out everything. Because I will be saying out the lines, and yeah. But yeah, without further ado, grab a cup of coffee and let's get going with the demo of Pink Noise. Along shady alleys, Act 1. Look at this art. It already looks so good. And there's obviously a nice purple tint to everything, which I do appreciate. Or pinkish. Both magenta, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. Fall comes to Riverwood with chilling winds and the first drizzle. A bleak mist obscures the narrow streets, clinging to rooftops, tangling in the bushes, and swirling around fields. Fog and murky blackness suit the peculiar suburb, nestled amid the forests and mountains. It's a decaying, quiet place waiting for winter. As the evening wears on, the town is wrapped in thickening twilight, with only a few streetlights serving as solitary islands of illumination and an island of darkness. On one such evening, ordinary and cold, 4 teenagers are strolling around an old park, engrossed in a lively discussion. The first fallen leaves rustle underfoot. As the wind reaches the trees, their branches groan out a long plaintive creak, as if already lamenting the loss of their motley attire. 2 of the teenagers, a tall boy and a fair-haired girl, walk hand in hand. Their friend carefully hops from one paved slab to the next, balancing as though a bottomless chasm might yawn open beneath them. A quite stooping boy in glasses trails behind them, casting glances at the road. Ahead, the street splits in two, then veers sharply out toward a wasteland. Just a half-century before, a tiny school stood there. Now, only a barely discernible foundation and heaps of broken bricks, choked by stubborn vines, remain to remind them of its erstwhile existence. I think that's how you pronounce it. Year by year, students have taken that path, carrying with them their thoughts and fears, high hopes and grand dreams. I don't know why I'm struggling with that, jeez. From tough exams and first crushes to bullies' bonks on the head, or simply yearnings to be the star player of a local team. Be it aglow in autumn gold, cloaked in verdant. I have no idea how to pronounce this either. I'm really sorry. My English should be better. Summer green, or blanketed beneath snowdrifts, Riverwood will never forget them, just as they'll never forget their town and secrets. The older a place grows, the more mysteries it keeps locked away. One of the girls leaps into the distorted blur of light cast by an old street lamp. Ain't gonna catch me! Ava wipes shadowy webs off her cardigan, gossamer threads only she can perceive. She glances at the overgrown bushes, which have long since forgotten the tender care of gardening shears. No chow time tonight, besties! The other girl scoffs at her friend's silly gestures. If Brian was as agile as you, we wouldn't have been stuck in school after dark. The chemistry room has never been so tidy. She wriggles her fingers to demonstrate, her palms red and wrinkled from the hot water. Ugh, it's not my fault Mrs. Hopestone didn't save enough teeth to avoid spitting and lisping. Besides, she should have explained it better. The bottle must have been left open. Actually, she explained just fine, but you still put 3 chlorine tablets in the rubbing alcohol instead of 1. Surprise, surprise, the reaction was extreme. Yeah, that bang was something else. My left ear is still ringing. Ava stops, hovering in a faint halo of light, and nods. She's never been reprimanded at school before today. Sure, she would have been way more upset if it hadn't been Brian's fault, but still. It's just another adventure, something her and her friends will laugh about one day, and a happy memory is worth more than any reprimand, especially when her parents will probably forget it by tomorrow. Alright. He raises his hands apologetically. Next time we team up, I won't let you down. I'll put in 2 chlorine tablets. The group passes a row of houses as dissimilar to one another as is ever possible in the suburb. The time-worn houses' windows glow faintly in sepia tones, as though the light itself has aged and can no longer disperse the deepening darkness. The buildings they pass seem to be contending for the greatest neglect. Every other resident would be considered an eccentric in any other town. For instance, Grey Bone has leaned on the rusty mower on his front stoop instead of a cane for 2 decades. The abandoned duplex across the road still bears the scars of a long-forgotten fire. Its windows are boarded up. Even during the day, it has a miserable look. The teens keep their distance. Oh, Miss Harvit's house. The gloomy old lady had knitted yet another pear-shaped cat and proudly displayed it on the terrace, thus expanding her ugly army. Right, you had a cup of tea together. Did baby Tony apologize? Once, Ava's brother had is that an actual word? I've actually never seen this word in my entire life. Hold up. Wait. Huh? I mean, filch is steal. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've just never seen it used in I guess it is. Had filch one of their, I think I pronounced it, one of the cats and taken it home, so that's stealing. Neither of their parents had paid any attention to it, so she'd had to explain herself that taking other people's belongings without permission was wrong. No, I was the one to apologize. Mr. Harvitz didn't say a word. She only gave us a cold stare and sniffed loudly. She scared baby Tony so much that he couldn't fall asleep for half a night. You have such a giving heart when it comes to your brother. You might be raising a hell of a night. Why in the world would he want to snatch a cat though? He was just a little kid. He came, he saw, he took it home. There's no need to tell her friend that Tony had intended to give Ava the cat. He knew she wanted a pet more than anything in the world. He thought he could cheer her up with at least a toy one. He'd never taken anything that didn't belong to him before, not out of fear of getting caught or punished. He simply found stealing shameful. Tony would sooner give away his breakfast than steal something from someone weaker than him. No doubt, that kind of attitude will make school harder for him, but such is his nature. To be fair, some of these cats look kind of goofy. I love them. Contemplating her brother's heart of gold, Ava smiled softly. They passed by Miss Harvit's terrace, curiously eyeing her odd dolls. Twilight makes the cat's silhouettes look eerie. Their pearl-button eyes glimmer in the fading light as if they know secrets that have been buried too long. Ugh, if I go crazy one day, I'ma definitely buy a nice crib close to the park. The neighbors here match me perfectly. Yeah, I can't stand the street. It's like it's lost in time and space. How about we head through the square? No one protests, so she leads them onward, sweeping into the nearest alley. A gust of wind bursts through the narrow walkway, permeating the air with the stench of raw wooden planks and rotting garbage. The houses in the alley look like they've been copied and pasted. They were likely been built at the same time to house factory workers. The only thing that differs is the light in the windows, on or off, making it clear whose shift it is tonight. 2 Christmases before, Brian got beaten up here. Some high school students apparently didn't appreciate his sharp tongue. They shove him into a snowbank and pack snow under his sweater, but the most humiliating part was a neighbor kicking them all out. She came out onto the doorstep with one of Brian's classmates, a cute but overly chatty girl. By the very next day, the whole school had heard the story about him shaking snow out of his pants and whimpering like a puppy. He would have preferred being rolled into a giant snowman and left there like that till spring. Brian adjusts a backpack full of baseball equipment, which has crawled down his shoulder, and walks up to Ashley. Ugh, I'm so fed up with this stupid school. All these teachers, homework, tests. But the year just started. It only makes me want to study even less. Ugh, there's nothing worse than coming back to school after summer. He jumps over a puddle and takes Ashley's hand. It's like wearing old trainers you've already grown out of. I can't wait for college. When I start working, I'll buy real catcher's gear. Or at least a bear glove, or something like that. His palms still hurt from Friday's practice session. The equipment donated to their team left much to be desired. Better busy than a slugger straight away. It'll pay off much sooner. Best case scenario, you could be a bouncer at a bar. Wait, Brian got bullied? Wait, Brian got bullied? He got shoved in the snowbank? Damn. Ashley laughs at his childishness. Any word more than 3 syllables I can't pronounce. Brian doesn't get the complexity of the world after all. Dad says a good job like his is hard to find without a higher education. Ashley grabs her Leo Zodiac pendant. It's a nervous habit, something she does whenever she says something important. It calms her. College is just another place to study. Ugh, this world's too cruel. Illnesses, starvation, school. I like school though. Michael tries to squeeze into the conversation. All along, he's been trailing behind the others, glancing suspiciously at parked pickups, as if they might bite. He hasn't kept up with his friends since he noticed 2 silhouettes in an old Ford. One female, one male. Ah, I see. The mutilated faces stared back at him. He could have sworn he'd heard a hoarse, gurgling whisper. Then, a light had flashed over one of the doorsteps, dispersing the blackness. Suddenly, both seats were empty again, and the strange vision turned into nothing but a local flour mill uniform hanging from a grab handle. Oh, God. Michael wipes the sweat off his forehead and listens carefully to his friends. Of course, I'd love school too if I had your scores, Mikey. Exactly. Agreeing, Brian quickly squeezes Ashley's hand. And maybe I should wear glasses too. Sounds like homework doesn't look so boring through them. They walk by the Murdoch's front garden and onto a street flooded with pink and blue neon store signs. You better stop complaining. We only have 3 years of school left. Just imagine, life's gonna be a completely different. Wait, what? Life's gonna be a completely different afterward. We might even lose touch. To Ava, the idea of moving away feels like teleporting to an unfamiliar planet. So many new people, places, interesting stories. She hasn't even fully explored Riverwood yet. In her mind, the town's old houses and old residents still harbor so many secrets, enigmatic and dark. In comparison, some unknown huge city feels like a bottomless well, impossible to fully drain. Even if you had 100 years in a future like that, it would be hard to make time for anything from the past, but she doesn't plan to forget her loved ones forever. If friendship's real, distance means nothing. My dad calls his friends from other states, every single day. She's tempted to add they mainly have business conversations and argue often, but they don't need to know that. In her mind, her parents are role models everyone should strive to imitate, not just her and her brother. There isn't a single family in the entire town happier or more close-knit than Ashley's, and that's nothing but the truth. Well, a couple's Well, a couple's cornfields and skateboarders ain't enough to break you up. What the hell do Ashley's dad, your love, and cornfields have in common? Look around. Eva stops and points toward the houses swaying in the darkness. Is anything really happening up there? Crunk Jim driving a tractor into a ravine was practically the only breaking news here in 6 months. Well, adulthood's a real challenge. People grow up and then they start to feel sorry that time flew by so fast and they want to experience school life again. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over her voice lines. My bad. She pauses, searching for the right words. Quoting someone else is one thing, but will she soon regret those bygone days for herself? After all, Ava already recalls her early childhood with nostalgic warmth. Back then, every little thing felt like it was brimming with wonder. Now a doll is no longer a sorceress a princess, or a traveler from a faraway world. A toy soldier is just a piece of plastic, and a blanket no longer. Making stories up for others is simple, but how are you supposed to fix yourself? Maybe the older you get, the duller and more colorless the world becomes. It's like going back to a fairy tale you weren't grateful enough for earlier. Ugh, they're just nice words, nothing more. Bring adults back to the textbooks and they'll howl all day. I don't remember any fairy tales where the characters were forced to read Walt Whitman's poetry. What about you, Michael? Me neither. Their friends stroll from one store to next, looking at the flickering signs. Up close, they no longer seem bright or cheerful. They look rather ramshackle and out of place in the dilapidated suburb. Oh, let's go home, okay? Dad's on shift today, but if he comes back to grab a bite to eat, and I ain't there... Brian scratches his neck and sticks out his tongue. Ashley laughs and punches him in the shoulder. Michael, trailing behind everyone, suddenly stops and looks at the only sign that sparkles as brightly and cheerfully as the day it was hung. The arcade's open. I doubt there's anyone there this late. We can play Street Fighter. Usually calm and quiet, he now blossoms. Behind his thick glasses, his eyes shine with passion. Oh, totally. No stupid helpers, suckers, or high school jerks. The boys lean against the dusty window, as happy as if they're meeting their idols. The girls only snort in irritation. What? Suddenly you're not gonna run back to your crib to avoid Daddy's shellacking? I've never seen that word before, I'm sorry. I'll risk it. There's always a chance Dad will kick you in the head, but a chance to throw Hadoukens and not wait in freaking line for the game? Now that's rare. It takes so little to make them happy, doesn't it? Ashley glances at her friend. Let him play. By the way, did you hear about the arcade machine that appears in the hall by itself? Ashley rolls her eyes. Ava's fantasies and reality have little in common. Her friend refuses to grow up. In her world, even a tattered old shoe might open its jaws and spin some ridiculous yarn. And that's exactly why Ashley adores Ava. She's so incredibly different from Ashley's overly rational parents, and from Ashley too. With her, getting bored is an impossible mission. Even if they were both locked in an empty basement, Ava would still manage to discover something fascinating there. She'd pull Ashley in and get her into trouble again. They'd giggle about it later. But Ava doesn't need to know that. It isn't like anyone can stop her anyway. You start playing and can't stop. The game never ends. It's impossible, but you try over and over again, forgetting about eating or even going to the bathroom. Over and over again, not thinking of your parents or friends. Over and over again until you run out of your allowance, can't afford breakfast, and stay hangry for the rest of the week because you're dumb. Michael peels away from the glass and adjusts his lopsided glasses. Well, that doesn't sound too scary if you got no allowance to begin with. Want to go in or what? Gosh, they're looking at us like dogs staring at a steak. Ashley waves her hand authoritatively. It's crazy to go home when it's so dark out, but if you win 100 tickets, me and Ava are gonna pick a prize. Act 2. It's high time for games. The spacious room is somehow stuffy, permeated with a stench of hot plastic unsuccessfully covered up by pungent berry air fresheners. Smells like wasted time. As if this shack smells nothing like school. The clamor of screensavers and demo walkthroughs. I am indeed playing a demo. Walkthroughs melts into a terrible cacophony. No wonder the Zona cashier shielding himself from it with a set of greasy, cushioned headphones. The walls are plastered with posters, promotional flyers, and all sorts of paper trash. However, one ad stands out. If you beat a record, you can win tickets and exchange them for prizes. Such generosity was easily explained. With the start of the school year, kids have a bit more cash in their pockets than usual. There's no one inside except the cashier, yet the floor is peppered with trash, from crumpled soda cans to chocolate bar wrappers. The arcade closes in 30 minutes. Local kids can only hang out here at this hour in the summer. The hall is packed with all sorts of arcade machines, each game's name glowing invitingly. Clips of characters deliberately failing to beat different levels flash on the screens over and over. The boys start searching for the most interesting game. Really? We can pick? Yo. I don't know how to play I do know how to play Donkey Kong, I'm just not good at it. Street Fighter 6. Probably just Street Fighter. Street Fighter, the best game the hall has ever seen. Liu and Ken are frozen on the signboard, ready to jump each other. The floor around the arcade machine is brightly polished, worn down by student sneakers. Galaga. This was once one of the most famous games. Now this veteran arcade cabinet is used only while the others are busy, or when a couple of truly insane nerds try and fail to break the record of someone named Lily the Rat once or twice a month. Donkey Kong, arcade golden oldie. The game machine is ancient and in poor condition. The sign barely even flickers anymore. One of the buttons is cracked. It's over here. The boys run toward the machine. It hasn't yet been wrecked the way some of its old time-worn neighbors have. Even so, the buttons and plastic casing bear scuffs, cracks, and grubby marks left by countless kids' hands. Worst of all, instead of some thrilling music, the machine is emitting only a hoary wheeze, like an old man struggling to clear his throat, instead pushing a death rattle out of his rusty lungs. A piece of cardboard with a blood-curdling inscription is stuck to the screen. Temporarily out of order. No cashier cannot fix it. Oh, God. Where's your justice? Who's the guy with computer nerds? The monkey holding the barrel? Donkey Kong. Ryan grumbles something in response, and Michael just shrugs. Well, the technician's coming, but not till next Tuesday. So y'all need to choose some other game. Try Road Blasters, it's the freshest here. I don't know why I gave him that voice, I'm sorry. The cashier points at the brand new arcade game displaying a car blowing up and drowning in a fiery pixelated cloud. Dang it! Michael's voice trembles. He seldom lets himself betray such emotion, but Brian has his back. What else have you got? Everything cars. You only a bag of chips if you rank in the top 5 of Pumpkin Man. I'll give you a double prize. He nods towards the counter. Aight, no one really plays this trash. We got real shots setting a record. Oh, cute. A gray cat lounging on a chair next to another machine captures the girl's attention. 4 letters shine on her pink collar. Lucy. Oh, so sweet. Yo. Hell. The cat flattens her ears and grumbles. I bet you $5 she didn't remember how clean hands with no cheese ball does feel on them. She kinda looks like the cat Mama was trying to paint last month. Let me guess, the cat in the painting had mandibles and a pair of tentacles? Ugh, I wish. She was just in the background. Mom paints people, you know how it is. Ashley knows. She wishes she didn't though. Those paintings are why she prefers inviting Ava over rather than visiting her. Well, one of the reasons anyways. They had a slumber party at Ava's place twice. Both nights, Ashley had been plagued by nightmares. The root cause was a few quote-unquote masterpieces Ava's mom considered her favorites, compared to those monstrosities playing out horror movies were practically bright, cheery cartoons. Meanwhile, the boys approached the coin-operated Pumpkin Man machine. Instead of usual Mr. or Mrs. Pac-Man, a bright orange pumpkin is flying around tough levels, eating licorice candies. The display sears their eyes with poisonous shades as a bunch of colorful blots chase the voracious pumpkin. Oh wait, wrong voice. What'd you think? Are these ghosts? Michael peers at the sign. Here's a hunter shooting the pumpkin with a shotgun. Oh, they're restless hunter souls then. Awesome! Let them catch the pumpkin, then everyone's happy. The hunters are safe in their graves, and we're home. Brian decisively draws a handful of coins from his pocket, inserts them. The coins clatter through the machine's metal innards and settle in the stomach. The maze dissolves into pixels and rearranges itself into the first level. Its corridors are speckled with candies, and the ghosts begin darting ravenously around their cage. Back home with no prize, I ain't leaving till we empty out that prize counter. The cashier shudders at the thought. We close in half an hour. Brian winks at Michael. Then he's gonna have 15 minutes left over to cry over his empty counter. Oh, did we actually play? Please tell me we actually get to play Pac-Man. Oh, we do actually get to play Pac-Man. No way. No way. I'm not good at Pac-Man, just so we're clear. I'm leaving all the big ones. All the big ones for afterwards. So it's gonna be kinda sketch. Ow. Alright, that's fine. What's the high score for this anyway? Please don't tell me it's an actual high score that I have to like get. Sorry bro, I don't speak Russian. Okay, now we're good. Oh, this is not good pathing. As you can see, I'm not good at this game. Here we go. Just on time. Oh, of course there's multiple levels. Are we just gonna be playing Pac-Man for the rest of this? Apparently we are. Oh man, sometimes it's not responding to my controls. I keep forgetting there's this. Why did I forget that there was that? What is wrong with me? Why? New to Pac-Man? Like, jeez. Okay, we're gonna do a quick surprise over there. Surprise! Hold up, chat, is he actually cooking? Who knows? Why did I say that? As long as I have an actual chat to talk to here. Oh, cool. I guess they only have 2 levels. That's it. Give me tickets, you stupid slab of iron. The cabinet releases 50 tickets that could be exchanged for an interesting item. Although they like to keep playing a bit longer, they've run out of spare change, and Brian would never, ever borrow money from a girl. Michael feels a bit awkward since he's never had any pocket money at all, but a friendly slap on the back snaps him out of his thoughts. Good job, Michael, you play like a beast. I know a Michael, and he kind of looks like this. Oh man, it's like looking at my Michael. Not in a weird way, but like the Michael that I know. You two did a lot better on this than in chemistry class today. Not sure I could have completed the level where there were more ghosts than candies. Brian looks around with a self-satisfied smile, but to his disappointment, the girls aren't there to celebrate his triumph. They're just emerging from the bathroom, discussing something. Oh, you missed something amazing. Did you miss it? Did you land a space shuttle? No? Then we see any reason for such delirious joy. Brian points at the tickets Michael's holding. Nah, what we did is way cooler than any shuttle. Let's go. High time we picked a prize. The cashier isn't around. The only movement in the whole arcade is a decorative bamboo curtain slowly swaying behind the counter. The cashier's headphones are still lying on the lower part of the counter, and a lonesome sausage is rolling around in a jar. All of a sudden, the hall seems empty. Where did he go? I don't know. Brian carefully approaches the counter and raps on the table with his knuckles. They hear shambling behind the bamboo curtain. Someone exhales loudly. And they all freeze. The game machines start beeping incessantly. The sideboard light dims as a devouring darkness creeps into the hall. Ava impatiently examines the counter, the prizes, and the posters tacked up one on top of another. Then she shouts. I love the subtle darkening of the screen. Hello? Anyone here? No reply. Alright, let's bounce. I want to wait for this freak. The cashier takes off his mask and bursts into laughter. Y'all sure see your faces, huh? You didn't even gasp. What a boring I would say plank. Prank. Yeah, I didn't flinch at that either. The cashier grimaces as though he's taking a swig of lemon juice. Critics. Alright, pay a prize. I see y'all got plenty of tickets. Ooh. Dude, why would we not get a Game Boy? A Slinky compared to Game Boy? Are you kidding me? Why would I want that? Nintendo Game Boy. 10,000 winning tickets. The best prize ever. The boy's wildest dream. I wonder how long you'd have to play to win this many tickets. Slinky. 20 winning tickets. A red Slinky. An American golden only. You can perform lots of simple tricks with it. Ava promised her older brother she'll get him one just like this. 1986 Topps baseball card set, 40 winning tickets. The card's price has slumped since everyone rushed to buy them a few years back, hoping to sell them at a profit later, even if they aren't interested in sports. Oh, they're still doing that, believe me. Friggin' scalpers these days. Brian's personal collection is only missing the 1986 and 1984 sets. He loved this. Rubik's Cube, 35 winning tickets. A good but hard puzzle. Michael loves stuff like that. He'll probably solve it in 15 minutes. Magic 8 Ball, 50 winning tickets. A Magic 8 Ball. Ashley would love this toy as she believes in fortune telling and horoscopes. Oh no. Prize from Michael? Oh. We only have one thing, really? What do you mean unavailable? Alright, do we only have the Michael route right now? And the award for the best gamer of the night goes to Michael. What'd you say? Wow, Rubik's Cube. Looks fly. Never seen one like this before. Michael nods shyly. He's not used to getting anything right on the first try. He isn't thrilled about the prize, but Brian could have simply chosen the magic 8-ball for his girlfriend or the slinky for Ava. He's known them way longer. But no, he chose Michael. He's on cloud 9. People are finally noticing him. Girls, you don't mind, do you? Oblivious to the world, Ava's just staring at the leather-faced mask stretched over a jar of cheap marinated sausages. The mask is made of leatherette, not latex or silicone. It looks so realistic. Of course, up close, it isn't as menacing as in the movie, but the unknown artisan clearly put immense effort into it. Ava has watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 times. The family dinner is her favorite horror scene. She wants to ask the cashier where he got that mask so she can buy one for Halloween. There's nothing else to choose between. I took a look at the magic 8-ball box. It was a shoddy fake. I got very few answers. Modern ones are way cooler and more interesting. Take it, Mike, and let's get out of here. Also, I don't think that Ashley was supposed to have an introductory thing there. The cashier collects the tickets and tosses the cube to Michael, who beams. And let me give y'all something for the rest of the tickets. Oh, there it is. I was hoping I could select that. He takes a cassette from the shelf and taps on it. No one was recorded on here. I just found it in the hall once. Brian glances at his friends. Michael twists the cube with rapt attention, paying the cashier no notice. You mean you're just gonna give us somebody's cassette instead of a real prize? But Ava, finished examining the mask, swiftly snatches up the prize and stows it in her bag. Boo, yeah, extra profit. Brian grimaces as the cashier tucks the tickets into his wallet. Most likely, no extra prize ever even existed, and the cashier's just pawning some junk off on them to pocket their tickets. Chances are, he's pulled that trick before. And honestly, why would you just hand out a random VHS tape that you can find? Now, it's possible that's a blank VHS tape, but also, it could also contain some things that aren't best viewed. Knowing that era of things, so yeah, I don't know why you just give it that stuff out. That's weird. Who knows? Next time, he might try handing out his socks for some dusty old Tiger Electronics handheld. I think we got screwed. It's a strange, mysterious cassette. Isn't that enough? As if teasing them, the light from arcade machines gleams directly on the coveted Game Boy. No, it's not. They head towards the exit. Bad sign. Most of the signs are already off, submerging the thickets, basements, and narrow alleyways in darkness. It splashes out onto the square, engulfing it in blackness. Only a few pickups and locked bicycles are still around, all parked by Marshall Sue's bar. The wind sweeps over the fields. The element that usually toys with the harvested corn now moans forlornly, help, plunging the suburb into melancholy. Winter will change everything. Stores and bars will be strung with sparkling beads of colorful lights, and the snow will smooth the wrinkles and scars of old Riverwood. The town will take on a deceptively pretty and cozy facade. As a kid, Michael loved strolling around there during Christmas vacation, munching on hot pies and watching snowflakes fall through the thick windows of a coffee shop. Back then, he never noticed the aging buildings, chipped concrete, or the gloomy people trying to fake a smile. In autumn, however, the suburb's flaws stand out more sharply. It looks unwelcoming, gray, lifeless. No wonder Ava calls it the season of ghosts. Just thinking of it gives him the creeps. Oh, well, we're late. Granny and Grandpa will be upset. If that's the worst that'll happen, then you may as well stay out a little later. Come on, Mike. How about that Rubik's Cube? Show us what you got. Just seen him. Hell, a pumpkin master. Michael humbly takes out his toy and twists a few of the layers. but watching the colorful squares slowly line up is boring as hell. Everyone knows it, even Michael. Ah, nice. What else are we gonna waste our time on? How about pouring water from the school fountain in the river? Ava pulls out the cassette and waves it at her friends. Now here's something worth our time. What you think? Is it gonna be a movie or a cartoon? Disappointed in the Rubik's Cube, Brian glances at their extra prize. I really hope it's worthwhile. Maybe some maniac recorded himself abusing his victims and can't wait to make it public. It reeks. Nobody knows why Ava sniffed the cassette. She hands it to Ashley, who also grimaces at the stench. Brian sniffs it too. Oddly, instead of old plastic, it stinks of lake silt, acidic rust, stagnant water, waxed leather coated in sweat. The odors mix together in the most unimaginable way, yet each is still distinct. That's weird. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta see what's... Suddenly, Michael shrieks and swears, "Ah!" F-bomb. The friends spin to face him. Michael shakes his finger and sticks it in his mouth. He grips the cube as if he's about to throw it away, but forces himself not to. Ashley glances at her bewildered friends. They look just as lost as she is. Unless that cube's made of sugar, that's totally weird. Even weirder than that nasty cassette. What happened, Mike? The boy puts the cube in his pocket and forces a smile. His face is covered in sweat, and his eyes dance about anxiously. It's all good. Just pinched my finger. Must have turned the layer the wrong way. That's not how Rubik's Cube works. It hurts, but Michael doesn't want to look weak in front of his friends. He certainly doesn't want to scare them. The whole thing felt strange, pointless. Mark my words, an arcade that's never bothered to repair Street Fighter doesn't know what fun is. No wonder the prizes are junk. How about just throwing under Abraham's truck? Just imagine the pieces flying apart. Abraham drives a massive tanker truck, shipping milk across town. Before that, he spent years as driver for the local flour mill. His old red truck is already a town legend. You can hear its roar all the way from the other side of Riverwood. Wow, that'll be incredible. Steven Spielberg's gonna shoot a movie about it one day for sure. Ugh, today was a crazy waste of time. Let's just go home. Nobody disagrees, so they head to the town's newest district. There isn't as much junk lying around here as there is in the park. The residents in this area are relatively wealthy. Ashley's house is the first place on their way back. The friends stop by her family's decorated fence. Michael likes it here. The house feels alive, bright, full of energy. Not that he and his grandparents live in a junkyard, but their place is old, engulfed in greenery and quiet. Old things always stay right in their places, and new ones are rare. If the TV still works, there's no need to replace it. If the couch isn't falling apart, why get rid of it? Literally. Old tech is so much better too. It's so much more resilient. Like, it's so good. It's not like planned obsolescence anymore. So yeah, I do like old stuff. It could last through at least one more generation of kids. The only new thing his grandfather has brought lately is a car, but, well, that was for a special reason. Michael's life is quiet, like a little mouse burrowed in books and magazines. In that sense, Ashley is his complete opposite, just like their houses. An old single-story building versus the giant mansion that takes up half its plot. Ash, you have an old VHS player in your shed, don't you? Yeah, why? You want to watch the cassette? Well, it could make our evening a little better, but don't our boys gotta get home? Instead of answering, Brian jumps over the fence and waits for his friends to follow. Michael? Michael nods and quickly catches up with Brian. Brian looks excited, like he's about to embark on the best adventure of his life, grinning from ear to ear. He turns to Michael. Did you solve the cube? No, I'll try again tomorrow. Let's check out the tape. He should have started doing his homework long ago instead of wandering through the streets. By now, his grandmother might be about to call the police and demand a search party for her grandson, but he hardly wants to go home. Jeez. Michael stares pensively at his finger. Blood is still oozing out the wound. I don't know, I said that so weirdly. The nail and the flesh have been cut with a sharp edge. The worst part is the feeling of that cube growing right inside his pocket. The cube that pinched his finger hard. The cube covered in bloody fingerprints. The cube that had suddenly been etched with an inscription invisible to anyone but him. 4 carved out letters. Your. And then the carving disappeared as if it had never been there. Come on, let's go check out what kind of recording we got. Act 4, a comfy place. These acts are passing by quickly. As far as the friends are concerned, Ashley's shed is the best and coziest place in the whole suburb. They spend most of their evenings there in winter when there's nowhere else to hang out and the high risk of being targeted by the high schoolers' snowballs. Is it heated? Damn. In the winter. There's plenty of space for board games and fooling around. They can be as loud as they like, and Ashley can always bring them snacks or soda from home. Her father originally planned to turn the place into a man cave, complete with a couch and a big TV, but he's been overwhelmed with work lately, so most of the time, the friends are free to use the shed. But that day, they aren't alone. Chris, Ashley's older brother, is already inside, lying on the shabby carpet and playing a new Sega Genesis. Only as they enter does Ashley remember that Chris is grounded for coming home drunk from a party. He's not allowed to see his friends for a month, but some of his buddies must have lent him the gaming console so he wouldn't get too bored at home alone. As the front door squeaks open, he swiftly hides a red pack of Marlboros under a pillow. Phew, it's just you suckers. I thought Daddy showed him when he was about to teach me how to live again. What you doing up here? Baby Ashley decides to show you our true family treasures. The shed is filled with dated furniture, living out its last days and unused equipment covered in dust. Oh, wait, no, that's the shed, not the treehouse. My bad. Plus other miscellaneous items the family are too lazy to get rid of. Ashley's family is rich enough that they don't need to sell all their old junk, so a lot of it has been stuffed into the shed. Chris's battered punching bag. Someone must have thrown hatchets and darts at it. An archaic Atari Pong console. Ashley's father played as a teenager, but the only controller broke long ago, and so did the console itself. The funny scarecrow from the Bennett's field. Ashley asked Chris to steal it after the Bennett's youngest daughter lost her doll. It was hard to believe, but Ava swore the scarecrow had moved on its own. An antique mirror. Little Ashley loved looking in it, imagining she was a Disney princess. Ava would barely even glance at the mirror. She is 110% convinced that Bloody Mary would come out of it if she wasn't careful. The old motorcycle. Sure, I guess that's a motorcycle. About 3 years ago, before Ashley and Brian started dating, Brian saddled it up and drove into the creek. Ashley burst into laughter, and Brian was banned from visiting Ashley's house. It seems the ban still hasn't been lifted. Chris retrieves the Marlboros and pulls out a cigarette with his teeth. Brian knows the trick so he can try it later. It looks thrilling. He doubts his attempt will look as natural as Chris's did, but it was worth a little practice. What if he manages to impress the high schoolers or the guys from the neighboring town's baseball team? Taunting opponents and getting on their nerves is a time-honored tradition. Brian imagines himself strolling past them, deftly pulling a cigarette, then smirking and asking why they sent a team of sissies to the game. Don't you have to stay in your room and feign remorse? What about you? Shouldn't you be watching Z's? Shouldn't be catching Z's, not wandering in the dark? Or you want to see who can disappoint your parents the most? It exhales a ring of blue smoke. The winner is clear. No, unlike you, I care about my future. We just want to watch a cassette. Why don't you just go do something else? We need a TV. As if, get out of here, kids. He turns to the TV and keeps playing. Oh, we only have one path. That's fine. But Ashley isn't going to back down. Her brother's as simple as predictable as an old penny. She won't even break a sweat fooling him. All you really need to know is whose opinion matters more to him than his own, whose personal business he cares about more than video games, what he's afraid of missing out on, what will make him jealous. Ashley's eyes narrow slyly at Chris. I'll trade the TV for some intel, bro. Go on. He's still staring at the screen through the smoke cloud, frantically clicking the controller's buttons. We stumbled on your cronies out there, Sam and Bobby, right? They were asking if you're still grounded. They were pretty upset that you can't keep them company. Chris throws his sister a wary glance. Sam and Bobby are real douchebags. Rumors of their wicked deeds are always flying around town. Ashley knows Chris is afraid of them, but he'd still do anything to get into their gang. He's constantly schmoozing them with free drinks and cigarettes. You really think I'm gonna fall for that, bull? It's true. I also saw them near the old water tower. They were going to steal Pam's motorcycle and ride it to the flour mill. Chris jumps up, nearly burning his fingers on a cigarette. Why the hell were they going there? Chris knows his sister can make up any nonsense on the spot if she wants to take advantage of something, but Ava, he trusts. She's a good girl. He doubts she'd lie. He can see right through his little sis. Ashley thinks she's a master manipulator, but her expression is a dead giveaway when she's lying. But Ava is different. They've known each other forever, and she never lies so blatantly, unless, of course, it comes to stories about the ghosts that haunt the old school, or the mysterious drowned man the girls totally met at the lake that one day. Well, Grandpa says truck drivers sometimes sneak bourbon to the factory in gas cans and sell to night shift workers. Best bourbon in the state. That's what he says. I bet they weren't gonna buy it. They were gonna steal it. Would be funny. He yanks his sneakers on and rushes for the door. Before he leaves, he glances over his shoulder and sneers. Watch out for us. If you're just trying to ditch me, your ass is gonna be my punching bag next time. Ava, you don't count. Chris disappears in the night, and Michael wipes the cold sweat from his forehead. He isn't gonna punch me, is he? Is he, guys? It's just Ashley's brother, not some damn high schooler who likes robbing kids. Ashley doesn't really agree. Chris has changed lately. He used to play sports. He's never smoked or followed complete idiots before. Their parents were proud of his medals and trophies. Their dad claimed any college would accept Chris on an athletic scholarship if he couldn't make it academically. And once he entered college, he would straighten out. But there's nothing left to straighten out anymore. Nobody offers scholarships for partying or hanging around bad company. Chris's boxing gloves are already gathering dust on his bed. His empty shelves and hooks aren't expecting any new awards anytime soon. Let's just start, okay? She glances at the moon. The cassette is not the only reason she wants to hurry up. Turn on, Brian. Brian changes the TV to AV mode and slides the cassette to the VHS player. Static noise dances on the screen, curved and covered in dust. The speakers let out a soft hiss, followed by a squeak. Hope the tape's not blank, otherwise Michael's gonna get beat up for no reason. Michael shivers and glances around, as if Chris might already be creeping up on him, his fist raised to strike. It can't be blank. Hurry up and take your seats. We don't want to miss anything. Ava settles down against one of the pillows, and their friends follow suit. The TV continues flickering, disrupting the peace of the shed. The wind sweeps out of the fields and descends on the suburbs, sneaking through the streets like a wild animal, prowling for prey. It strips the shed, making it sway and creak like a popping joint. Their only lamp flickers, casting shadows on the piles of garbages I don't know why I said that in plural, of garbage in the corners. Is there any other lane here? As if to answer Michael's question, a picture begins to form on the screen. The black and gray static strips morph into an image, taking on colors and shapes. One part becomes studio walls, and another area changes to the decorated set of a Friday night show. The rest turn to the body of a game show host wearing a stripped suit jacket. The host is half turned and staring at the camera as if waiting for the director's signal to start, or trying to see the audience on the other side of the screen. Well, at least he's not a maniac. Don't speak too soon. An invisible orchestra bursts into music, so cacophonous that the players should have been whipped for their miserable performance and never allowed to lay hands on the instrument again. I'm not gonna laugh. Jeez. Welcome to the show, everyone. I wonder how this is gonna... Oh man, I want to know more about... Oh man. Congratulations, you have completed the demo version of the game Pink Noise. As you might have guessed, the full game offers you a great variety of choices, so all the plot twists will be up to you. We're genuinely grateful for your interest in that project and your time spent playing. Don't forget to subscribe to our social media and stay tuned for upcoming news. Please take the survey, it would help us. So, that was the demo to Pink Noise. I wish we could have seen more of the horror aspects. I really do. So yeah, obviously we have the entire demo is just setting the scene up, right? We set up the dynamics for our main group, for our 4 characters. We set up basically had their background. We set up the setting, the Riverwood and stuff like that. And we set up how they got there and extra family members and all that stuff. What I do wish was that we could have seen a bit more of the horror aspect. Now obviously we did receive some unsettling aspects of the game, right? We've seen just how we've seen Michael's hallucinations, assuming that they are. We've seen just the Rubik's Cube again. Actually, now that I think about it, a lot of the horror sort of revolves around Michael, which is interesting. So there has to be a very, very specific role that Michael is gonna play, because why would he see those 2 dead bodies in the car? Why would he see those 2 symbols on the Rubik's Cube? And then why would he cut himself on the Rubik's Cube? So there's genuinely something that feels very, very fundamental about Michael. He seems like probably one of the most important characters out there right now. At least on the more paranormal side, at least. Is it because he inherently has the sight, as in like the third eye, or is it because he's I don't know, like actually loco? Like, we don't know yet. I do wish we could have again seen more of the horror aspects. Like just something that rattles our characters, because right now they are rather nonchalant. They're just cruising by and stuff like that. And yeah, we really don't see the impact of the VHS tape. So all of this is just set up, which I'm fine with. It is enough for me to gain interest in the game, but man, I really do wish we could have seen more of it. Sound effects were pretty good, pretty cool. Obviously, you got that retro vibe to the sound effects, kind of like a vaporwave-esque. I like the inclusion of our Pac-Man game, which can't be Pac-Man, so it had to be a little pumpkin, because of rights issues and stuff like that. What else? Art. I enjoyed the art. That was cool. I can't really comment on the voice acting because of the fact that it is in a different language, and voice acting does inherently sound better because you don't speak the language, so you're like, you can't really judge it, right? If I voice act in English and you speak in English, you can be allowed to be a lot more critical because you understand my tones a lot more clearly, you understand a lot more of the words I'm saying, so there's a lot more nuance in judging voice acting when you know when to speak the language. So I can't really speak on the voice acting, but I do appreciate the voice acting. I do appreciate that it is there. It's just in Russian, so I can't really do much about that. Other than that, I'm really interested to see how the VHS sort of affects everything. How does just watching this VHS tape sort of unravel Ravenwood and stuff like that? Like that's I'm really interested to see, but that's the end of our demo. Now luckily the game is releasing on March 6th, so by the time this video comes out, it's gonna be releasing relatively soon. The thing is that this game is releasing in chapters, so when March 6th comes by, it's only gonna be releasing in chapter 1 or episode 1, let's just say, and apparently there's gonna be 5 episodes. So yeah, we're not gonna get the complete story just yet. We're only gonna get just one. So I assume what happens is that the VHS is separated into different tapes, sort of like Amanda the Adventurer, and then you have to play each different tape for a different story. I assume. I don't know how it is, and that sort of affects the real world or something. Yeah. There's too much build up, and there's not enough that we can sort of go off of in terms of where this story will go. We don't know if the VHS tapes will affect the real world. Well, they probably will. We don't know what's on those tapes, and we don't know where the story is heading. Is it gonna affect Ravenwood in general? Just a psychological state of our characters? We don't know. Again, there's too many things left in question from this demo. So yeah. But again, I am interested in this game, and so yeah, please do look forward to the game when it comes out on March 6th. If you guys are interested in this demo and hearing the original voice acting, feel free to download the demo and give it a shot for yourself. And if you guys just want to support the devs, make sure to wishlist the game, because algorithm boost and all that stuff, I'm sure they'll appreciate it a lot. And so yeah, hope you guys have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when and where you guys are. And see you guys next time. Bye bye. See you and take care. Bye.